Hello, I'm Kendra, and today's project for 31 projects in 31 days is to make some fabric shopping bags. These are actually kind of already in progress. My 31 projects are all based on things that I have in stash. I went through my craft room and stuff I'd been working on and wanted to finish, and kind of decided that October and Vlogtober was a good excuse to do it. So today I'm going to be working on some fabric shopping bags that I've already cut out. Now all of these were made from a bunch of fabric that was in my fabric stash. Here they are, the stack. My fabric stash is pretty gigantic because I worked at a fabric store when I was in high school, and that means that I had an employee discount and disposable income. And basically my checks turned right around and walked back into Hancock Fabrics every month. Well, at least a large portion. So I have a bunch of fabric in the basement still. My mom has given me some of her fabric, and just there's some things that I know I will never use to make quilts or boxers or just anything. Things that are not really my taste for the kind of items that I sew when I do sew. And so I went through and picked out all of that fabric and put it together to make some shopping bags. I have made other types of fabric shopping bags, more like tote bag style, and I don't find that they fill very nicely at the store. Checkers don't really know what to do with them. They're sometimes hard to carry in from the car. So what I did was I took a plastic grocery store bag that I had gotten from a store. I cut it, like the bottom off, and so then I could unfold the wrinkly bits. And I laid it out flat like a pattern onto some fabric, and I traced it as my pattern onto the fabric. And well, at first I traced it onto freezer paper, but then I used the freezer paper pattern on fabric. Now, this does leave you with kind of short handles and a wide base, but I found that that works really well. I made a few of these just to test them out, and I have been loving them. So I took the fabric and I folded it in half, so the salvage edge had been over here. I laid my pattern out and I just cut around it. I'm sorry, my focus is being strange. I wonder if it's the blue light on the iron that's freaking it out. There we go. So I cut all of that out, and now I have it sitting on the ironing board. I've ironed it flat with the right sides together. I'm actually going to do two pieces this way. One is going to end up being the inside, and one is going to be the outside of the bag. Now I'm going to sew it on my sewing machine, and it does not matter what color thread you use because the thread is not even going to show because these are the wrong side is facing up. I'm going to sew along this edge here and this edge here. As you can see, the bottom seam is sewn. What I'm gonna do is open the bag up. This is just gonna be a standard boxed corner. If you would like to see tutorials on that, I'm sure if you search YouTube, there's gotta be tons of them. I know I learned how to do it from several blogs over time, and it is a good skill to have in your sewing repertoire. So, what I did was I opened it up and I lined the seam up with the fold. Now I'm going to just grab whatever is handy to draw a line with, because this is not going to show. In this case, I am using a Sharpie because I'm feeling lazy. Now I'm going to line my ruler up along the line, and we're going to give this a 2-inch box. So, just draw that. And again, if this isn't perfect, that's fine. These are just grocery bags. No need to stress out. So I'm going to go sew this one, and then I will come back and do the next piece. Okay, so now that I have this seam sewn, I'm going to just take my scissors and about, I don't know, quarter, half inch away, I'm just going to cut off that tip. It will prevent having bulk in the corner. I'm going to do the same thing on the other 3 corners, and they will leave me with a piece that looks like that. Now that I have the 2 pieces and the box part is done, I have turned them so that the piece that is going to be my outside is wrong side out, and the piece that is going to be my inside has the right side facing, so I switched them. Now I'm going to go and stitch around the 4 segments that I need to get the handles so that everything's attached between the front and the back. So now I have everything is stitched together, so it's all like one piece. And now the hard part, which is turning it through one of these little ends. I mean, you could leave the turning space in a different spot, but that means that you have more finishing later, and I think that this just gives you the cleanest and most stable finished product. So now you're left with this weird figure. This is the point where I like to tuck the inside part in and give everything a good ironing before I finish off the handles. Make sure that your box pieces, you can just stick your hand in and see how nice the 2 layers fit together. This also, by ironing it, means that you can check that you do have all 4 handle pieces sticking out and that you attach the right ones together. Okay, so now that everything is all nicely done, you're going to take your ends, and I just use my fingers and I fold one of them in. That way I have, you know, pretty edges all the way around, so there's nothing unfinished. Then I stick the other end inside, just a little. I mean, enough that you're going to catch it and it'll be strong, but not so much that you lose a lot of length. Like so. And now I'm just going to go and sew across that seam. So now I have, as you can see, handles are complete. I'm just going to go ahead and clip off the threads, and then I'm going to fold. You'll see the handle is not a very big hole. When I was laying out my pattern and using up as much of the fabric width as I could, I gave precedence to the bottom portion, so there was a bigger bag rather than bigger handles. If you want your holes bigger, make them bigger, but if you look at those plastic shopping bags, the handles really aren't very long. And it's plenty to put your hand in. It's even, I mean, plenty. I have used these for crocheting as a Japanese knot bag where I will just pull one handle through the other and put it on my wrist. But you can just take it and you fold the flat bit in half, and I put it so that the folded side is on the outside so my hand's going to hold. And I'm just going to sew right across here. It adds a little stability, and it makes this area a little easier for your hand to fit in. And once you've done those 2 seams, you are all done, and you, or I in this case, have a new fabric shopping bag. They're not the prettiest thing, but they are very, very functional. And at this point, this one's done. So that's good. If you want to see the other projects I've done so far this month, you can go ahead and check the playlist on my channel, or you can go ahead and subscribe down below, so that way you will get in your feed every day during Vlogtober, a new one in my series of 31 projects and 31 days. See you tomorrow. Bye.